we have Jay Young. We've had him on before. He is the founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation. And what they do is they look for and they extract oil and gas. His company's based in Dallas, but they do work all over the place. He's the author of The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing. We've had him on before. We love him. And he is back with us today. Jay Young, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Bob, thanks for having me on again. How you doing?
We have you on just for your accent. We love it.
Oh, man, that's awesome. And I'm standing up. Like you said in the beginning. I'm standing up, and I'm thankful, man. I'm grateful and thankful. Amen. And, man, I'm excited to be here.
Now, you've looked at everything in the oil and energy space for next year. We've already seen some decline in gas prices, for example. You're projecting that there's going to be substantially more in 2026.
Yeah, for the first half, I believe we're going to see some good decline in prices because it's all political. I mean, they're talking about peak demand. They don't know when peak demand for oil is going to be, and there's a glut, OPEC, and I can see prices, stay right here or maybe decline a little bit more. But what's happening is a lot of the oil and gas companies, especially in the Permian Basin, which, there's a tremendous amount of oil being produced in the Permian or in Texas. We think that, that's pretty neat because of we don't pay that much we don't pay any taxes, state taxes, all because we're producing 6 million barrels a day of oil, and we get 4.5% of that. But we're not producing as much, and we're not drilling as much. Drilling's going down, and people are looking to drill for natural gas instead of oil. And so what's going to happen is in the next 6 months, we're going to have a shortage of oil, and so that oil is going to go up. Gas prices will go up next year, but in the meantime, like I said, fill up your lawnmowers, fill up everything you got now with these cheaper prices because it's not going to be here forever. And this is a great time to develop oil and gas assets and get long-term, vendors. I had a guy on my podcast yesterday that owns rigs, and I said, well, if I drill one well, he's going to charge me like $20,000 a day. But if I say, hey, well, I'll drill 10 next year, he goes, oh man, we'll go down substantially for that. So now's a good time to go to the vendors and say, hey, I got long term and I'm ready to go. Feel like the price are going to go up next year. Let's buy low, sell high type deal. About how it is. And drilling a well is no different than building a house. There's hundreds of vendors out there that they're in the oil and gas business, and they're all specialized in drilling rigs or pipe or concrete or supplies or fracks or paste on. There's just so many different vendors that you need, and they all need business, obviously. And if you're going by, the best time to go by when you're looking for a drilling rig is when there's 3 to 4 of them in the yard.
Do you think?
And there's 3 or 4 sitting there.
Jay Young, do you think that they're going to follow your advice and avoid that crunch mid next year?
No, I think it's all supply and demand.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's all supply and demand. We're not going to see as much oil on the markets come into next year. We may be below 13 million, maybe at 12 million or so next year. And when you go down, I mean, we need 20 million barrels a day in the United States. That's our appetite or our addiction, as George Bush said once. We need 20 million barrels a day, and we're only producing 13. And so we need 7 brought in export. Well, that's okay. And we export oil because we can't refine it here, but we need a bunch of oil. And if the less that we have here in the United States, the more that we're at the beck and call or whatever you want to call it, of foreign countries, OPEC plus, and they just turn a switch and say, yeah, we're going to put an extra 1 million barrels on the market or 1 million barrels off the market to the United States. That really makes a huge difference in the prices.
Jay Young is our guest.
So right now Yeah.
Jay Young is our guest, founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation. He's one of the guys we turn to talk about the energy industry. Jay, just almost a silly question. My two favorite shows, one is an oldie but a goodie, is Dallas.
Oh,
I'm just loving
man.
my J.R. Ewing. And Landman. Landman I absolutely love. Have you seen Landman? Is it realistic? Does it get to some of the basics of your business?
It does. I mean, he did a really great job. Taylor Sheridan did a really great job in portraying what the oil and gas business is. Every time I see a show or a clip or something on social media, it just brings me back to my days when I grew up. That's how I grew up, was in the oil field. But there's a lot of drama, obviously, and they do take some things like a blowout or things of that nature, maybe to the next 2-3 levels for drama factors for Hollywood. But no, it's a great show, and there's a lot of great things that Billy Bob does that says that is extremely true. And I do it on social media. I'm doing true or false questions on there. So go to my social media, and Jay, I go by J.R. Young. That's my name, and so J.R. Young. So I love the show Dallas when it was playing as well.
And Jay as in J-A-Y-R Young. Yeah.
Right. J-A-Y. Right. And but we have a lot of guys. Matter of fact, the show Dallas was after a guy named H.L. Hunt, which they're Kansas City Chiefs and the Oilfield in East Texas and all that. Yeah. But that's who it's portrayed off of, is H.L. Hunt, and we have several of his people that work for our company at King Operating. And they found a lot of big oil and gas fields, and they're brilliant people. And the Hunts, they're royalty here in Texas, not only for the Kansas City Chiefs or soccer or anything else, but just for oil and gas, because H.L. Hunt was, a risk taker, but he drilled some incredible wells, and some of them are still producing after 100 years out here. So we're excited about that. But yeah, I love the show, and people ask me all the time questions, and you can ask me questions on social media or I don't mind. Even my wife, has been with me for 20 plus years. She said the other day, she goes, "Okay, stop right here. What does that mean?"
Yeah.
Or stop right here. What does that mean? And I'm like, hey, it's. And I don't mind answering. And as a matter of fact, I can't answer all of them because he goes in depth on some of them that I got to call one of my land guys or engineers or geologists. And talking about, he comes home. This is kind of funny, Bob, but he comes home and Cooper does, Tommy's son. And he goes, "Oh yeah, well, we hit 6 for 6. And I was like, how'd that guy drill these wells that afternoon? He drilled all 6 wells this afternoon. And his girlfriend's pissed off at him because he didn't call for 3 hours. Dude, it takes months to drill wells, and here this guy does it. That's BS.
Yeah.
I was going to say the actual word, but that's BS. But most of it is, and two, you don't just drill deeper because it is shallower zones that are productive. So you just go, oh, well, that's what Cooper said. Well, I just thought that oil was shallow, so if we just drilled deeper, we'd hit. My geologist, who's 70-something years old, he said, if that's true, I wouldn't have been a geologist for 50 years.
Easy. Does Landman capture the culture of the Permian Basin?
Oh,
region? Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Those bars when you go in, I love it. I'm just sitting here in a suit and tie most of the time in Dallas, and I'm the kind of the John Hamm, I guess, of the show, if you were thinking about that. And then every once in a while I'll say, okay, let's go to the field. So we'll go to Midland, put jeans and boots on and just go out there and, I wear a hat or cowboy hat or whatever. And that's my life. And that's how I grew up. And that's what I think a lot of Wall Street guys that run public companies, they miss more than anything, like the Pioneer Natural Resources or, Brian Sheffield or those kind of guys, is because Scott Sheffield was the CEO, because he grew up there and when you run a public company, man, you're not out in the oil field. I mean, you're in the boardroom and you miss the oil field, and I definitely miss the oil field, and I have to make sure that I get up and at least once a month, we take a day or two trip, go to the oil field, see what's going on, but it's so exciting, very, very exciting to sit on the back of a pickup truck when a pumping unit's going, and that's how I grew up. I mean, that's kind of weird, but my grandfather had me out in his pickup truck, and as soon as I was tall enough to drive, which I'm 6'3", but when I was tall enough, when I was 12, 13 years old, he let me drive down the old top roads, and we'd go by a pumping unit, and he'd say, okay, hold on, Jay. And he'd listen to that pumping unit and see if there's anything wrong with it. And then, if there's a click or something that he didn't like, if the rod's downhole or if something mechanical on top of the pumping unit that's going up and down, going off or something, I mean, he'd stop and we'd look at it and see what was going on with it. But it's just great times. And like I said, when I do go out there now, it's on the back of a pickup truck, and I used to chew tobacco or something. I don't do that anymore, but it'd probably make me really, really sick. But just think about it. Just think about that's how I grew up, and and it's great building up assets for our clients. And right now, this time of year, we're extremely important because it's tax write-off season, and people that invest before the end of the year get a write-off, 80% write-off. So we're busy now with our fund that we're drilling, and we're drilling a lot of good wells, and it's exciting. It's an exciting business, and I'm very glad that I decided to go in this business, and it gives you the ups and downs, and it is just like Billy Bob and those guys. It's a great business, but there is a lot to it. Now, we don't have run into the mafia. We haven't run into the mafia yet, so I haven't been there, and I don't know if that's all BS.
Well, Jay,
now, Cooper got his financing.
Yes,
Cooper got his financing from
drug lord
Garcia.
Yeah.
Oh, and I tell you what, I haven't been with a drug lord, but I have been with people that are like, the shops that they'll loan you money, but they want to loan you money, and then they want you to trip and fall so they can take it over.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen to Cooper. I don't know, but I'm assuming, yeah. But that's a real deal.
Well, we've got to continue this discussion, but I'll tell you, Jay, please get people to invest. I don't want gas prices going up before the midterms.
There you go.
I don't want them going back up before the midterm. So keep people exploring, drilling, and pumping oil out of the ground. Okay,
man, Bob, we'll do our best. And I think I sent you my book.
Yes, I love it.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, if it got to you or not, but hopefully it did. And I'd love to hear your feedback on it. If I can do anything else, or call me back next week or the next week, and let's continue the conversation.
All right, my friend, we love it. Jay Young, CEO, founder of the King Operating Corporation, Oil, Gas. We'll be back after this.